Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fuel for Success. This is episode number 285 on a Tuesday morning, and we're here to talk about health, weight loss, and fitness on this beautiful day. And it's your lucky day because we're psyched up, we're fired up, we're excited to talk about the mental side of weight loss today. We're going to get into that and maybe some other topics. I want to remind everybody that's watching right now, ask questions and interact. It's a great opportunity. And I want to say good morning to my co-host and good friend, Matt Maddox. Welcome back home. I know you had a trip this weekend, and hope you're back in the energy flow, my friend.
Oh yeah, I'm back and ready to go. I was up in Ohio, and now I'm back here in Florida, and it's beautiful. I'm most excited because I'm back here with Caleb. He was actually out of town on a vacation with his mom and her family.
Nice.
So yeah, just good to be back. Good to be back working on our business. Good to be back. Good to be back on Fuel for Success, man. You know what? I had a dream about Fuel for Success last night. I don't
Did you?
know why. Yeah, I had a dream that we were doing a show and you hung up, or I hung up, and you called me and was like, dude, there were 7,000 people watching our show tonight. And I was like, wow. I was like, that just seems like such a small number. How do we increase it, man? What do we got to do different? You know, hey, Mike and I have those kind of conversations all the time. Like, we're like, dude, we got to do different, man. What's the deal? You know?
Exactly. And but what we do, we say, well, you know what? We're going to keep bringing value. We're going to keep speaking into people's lives and doing the best that we can to help people. And God will bless. And we're confident in that. And we're so thankful for everybody that watches. What do you have there?
Organic Gyokiro green tea, my friend. And it does wonders for you. Mike, if I could get everyone to start drinking green tea, I know that it would change their health. I really believe it. I believe they would lose weight. I believe they would be healthier, have a healthier immune system, their skin, everything, their heart for sure, because green tea is loaded with antioxidants. So I try to drink green tea every day. Yeah, Pacey, Mike and I planned that actually. You know, we call each other and say, hey, you want to wear blue today, buddy? Let's both wear blue and match.
Not true. Not even remotely true, but we were joking before the show. We show up all the time. We don't have any idea. We show up all the time like in the same color shirt, and it's like, what's up with that? Right?
Well, last week it happened 3 times. 3 times last week.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Hey,
one of us ran and changed into another shirt. But today we're just like, you know what? Let's just do blue today. You know what I'm saying?
We just roll with it. Rocking the Power Blue fitness shirts for the Health, Weight Loss, and Fitness Show. And you're right, Matt. Green tea is a powerful thing. I've got my organic black coffee here. In both cases, no sugar, no sweetener, no additives. Green tea, black coffee. Come on, keep it simple, people.
Not even stevia, my friend. Suck it up and drink it black and drink it green. Mike, you know what? I know you're going to ask me some questions that come in, but I had something on my mind this morning. I was thinking on how, and we've talked about this before, but how the food industry tricks people by using health words. You know, I was walking down the mall yesterday and I passed tropical smoothie and I laughed. I stopped and I stood at it and laughed because I was like, that's hysterical to me because all these words they're using, I was like, basically, there's nothing healthy at tropical smoothie. You know, not even the fruit they use, you know. But anyways, that's another discussion. And most of the stuff, these smoothies that you drink are all syrups. They're loaded with sugars. Anyways, that's not our topic. But they'll use words like fat-free. Another one that's really, really popular today is gluten-free. And I've got a few thoughts on gluten, but let me get your take on that because here's what's funny is one of the number one things I look for is things that say non-GMO, right?
Yeah. Right.
And obviously I look and make sure there's no sugar. And like we said, one of our rules is you really probably shouldn't be eating stuff that has more than 4 to 6 ingredients. You know, I will tell you this, man. I found some amazing organic tortillas at Whole Foods yesterday, and they're really good, surprisingly. But anyways, here's the deal: Gluten free is a big one. So you'll see something that's gluten free, and you'll think it's healthy, and people will be like, "Oh, it's gluten free, so I'm going to get it." What's your thought on that, Mike?
Well, I think that in a lot of ways that it's a buzzword that's overused, and the unfortunate thing, and there are people who are gluten intolerant, and I don't want to take anything away from that. That they have a sensitivity to gluten, and that then it's something that they want to avoid in their diet and in their life. But for the most part, people unfortunately have sort of a mental connection that if it's gluten free, it must be healthy, and that in a lot of cases is the furthest thing from the truth. In fact, I remember I saw some like granola bars, and they had a big label on it that said gluten free, and it also said low fat. By the way, it was like gluten free, low fat paleo. Okay, red flag. And anyway, but you get to looking at it, and it's gluten free, but it's chock full of sugars. It was horrible. If you looked at the ingredients and what was in it, the granola bars themselves, they were like, covered in chocolate and like white chocolate, and they had all this junk in it, and it was the furthest thing from healthy, even though it said gluten free. And so a lot of times in our busy lives, we try to simplify things and just say, oh, if it's gluten free, it must be good. If it's fat free, it must be good. If it says, whatever the latest buzzword is, and that's just not the case. You need to go a little bit deeper, go a little bit past that. Obviously, I'm happy for the people that are gluten intolerant, because 10 years ago there were no options for them really, because wheat was added to everything. But wheat in and of itself isn't bad. Gluten in and of itself isn't bad unless you're intolerant. And so don't jump to the conclusion that it's healthy just because it's labeled gluten free. And that's really about the only point I want to make on that.
Yeah, and another one is like protein bar. Well, I'm going to get this protein bar because I need my protein for today. Well, you know what? You might be getting protein, but you might be getting also some extremely unhealthy, chemicals, sugars. Like Mike, the number one thing that if I could teach people to do is always just read the ingredients. Always, 100% of the time, just slow down and read the ingredients. And if you see things like corn syrup, done. Don't eat it. Don't buy it. Don't even think about it. Even if within that is non-GMO or gluten-free or sugar-free is another one to be careful of, because a lot of times they add sweeteners. They'll be like, well, it's sugar-free, but then even, the sweetener. And so anyways, like the other day, Caleb was eating these gumballs at a place, and I was like, you know what? I was like, be careful of gumballs even, because they're loaded with sugar. And even though, you would think, well, I'm just chewing on the gum, but that's getting in your teeth, it's getting in your body. So just be careful with it, But anyways, it's always good just to be aware, Mike. So let's deal with maybe some questions. I know this morning we decided we wanted to kind of help people a little bit with the mental side of weight loss. But were you going to say something, and have there been any questions come in on that?
Just a couple of comments that came in on the gluten. Tommy's asking, is gluten-free overrated for people who aren't sensitive? I think if you're not gluten sensitive, then it's nothing really that you want to spend a lot of time paying attention to. And Marie said that her weakness is bread. And her friend who's gluten intolerant, I think, said to switch to gluten-free bread. It's not really going to make a lot of difference as far as your health goes. It's still the same level of carbohydrates and those sort of things for the most part. You need to go deeper. That surface level isn't enough to really make the decision. And I love this. Here's what Tommy said. This sums up what I'm trying to say. He says he has a friend that's sensitive to gluten, and her diet consists of Pringles and packaged macaroni and cheese. So those are gluten-free products, but that's not healthy.
Not healthy. Mike, I'm not going to pick on Marie because she's a really good friend of ours. But I'm going to take something she said, and I'm going to make a point, Marie, and I know you know me when I say this. This is a habit that a lot of people have that we don't even know that we have. I'll give you an example. I was doing some life coaching with somebody the other day, and this kind of traces back to the power of the mind and the spoken word, and how sometimes in our subconscious, without even thinking about it, we say and think things that are really actually impacting our behaviors and our results. she was saying, I'm just so OCD. And I was like, okay. I was like, here's the deal. I was like, I want you to practice on not even saying that. If you've got to refer to yourself as being really extra clean or extra organized, or maybe you're very passionate about things being a certain way. But Mike, when we start saying things like I'm OCD, believe it or not, everything that you speak and you think, you are attracting into your life. And I'm totally not picking on Marie at all. But Marie, even subconsciously saying my weakness is bread, you're taking that in. You can say I really enjoy bread is probably, and I'm not correcting you at all, Marie. I'm not. I'm giving an example because I see this happen all the time. People will, say so many things that they're actually tying into their soul and their life and attracting it in their life because they're speaking it and thinking it. Mike, we really don't realize truly how really powerful words are and how we really need, the Bible teaches this, how careful we need to be with the selection of our words, how careful we need to be with our thoughts. I'm always late, I always mess up on this, kids on our baseball team will say, I just can't hit a curveball. And I always tell them, no, don't say I can't hit a curveball because guess what's going to happen? You'll never get to the place where you're going to be able to hit a curveball. You can say things like, the curveball gives me challenges, but I'm going to hit it. I'm going to beat it. Really, like you've got to learn how to project as much life-giving words, so you can say it like this, Marie. Bread, don't admit, don't accept or don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Saying bread is my weakness. Don't allow yourself to develop a belief that bread is your weakness. You can say it. I really enjoy bread, but don't refer to it as a weakness because you're powerful enough to overcome it. Mike, this kind of goes back into what we're going to segue into on the mental side of weight loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I teach people when I do one-on-one coaching not to make jokes about weight. Not to make jokes about healthy eating. And I'm not a guy that takes life too serious. I'm really not. I have a really good sense of humor. I laugh a lot. Mike, there's just certain things that you don't make jokes about, I know dads that literally have scarred their kids because they called them fat. Well, no boy's going to watch you with that little tummy you got. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen dads say that to their girls. Or to their, same thing to their little boys. Like, if you don't lose that weight, everybody's going to just keep calling you chubby all the time. People don't realize all these messages that we send to our brain and that we're taking in, how much it's truly affecting our outcomes and how much it's affecting our results in our life. I'm going to say more about this, Mike, but I want to pause and give you a chance to interject on some of the stuff I've been talking about and what you think about it.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, and I love the comments that are coming here. Marie's absolutely receiving what you said, and she said my weakness was bread. She corrected herself, and I like that.
Yes.
Which is a great way to say it. Say I used to, but not anymore. Making that transition, and you're right. And as Katerina said, life and death are in the power of the tongue. The things we speak have power in our lives. But I do want to jump in, and because we're already at 13 minutes, and I want to get to the mental side of weight loss, and we've touched on it quite a bit here already. But can you dive just a little bit deeper into that mental side and how someone can like get their mental energy in the right direction to help them, with weight loss and getting healthy?
Mike, one of the biggest struggles that people have with weight loss is the mind. In fact, it's probably 95% of the battle, straight up. It's the mind. It's the perceived addictions and beliefs about weight, about, being healthy. I've even ran across Christians that felt like, that it was vain to have a good looking body, that it was vain to lift weights or vain to be skinny. No joke. The amount of thinking, or people that literally in their mind, you've got to be able to see yourself skinny again. You've got to be able to visualize it. You've got to, every thought that you think has got to be in the future of you losing the weight, being skinny. This is why having a vision board is so important. This is why when in my gym where I swim, in our pool area, every part of the wall is pictures and motivational sayings. And there's a reason for that, because people in the health and fitness industry understand how much visual impacts our brain. And it's good to see that kind of stuff. Even me, when I'm swimming and I look up to get my breath and I see the word, drive, or the word happiness, and I'll see a picture of a couple laughing or whatever, and I'll see the word, every day, and it's a picture of somebody swimming. Whatever it is, like, I feel healthier, like, when I look up and I see that, And so, like, I think, Mike, again, I can't cover it all in today's show because there's a lot to this. But I can tell you this, I'm going to give you 5 quick tips to helping the mind or helping you with the mental side of weight loss. Number 1 is you've got to have a vision. You've got to have a vision. And so what I tell people to do is, look, get a picture of yourself when you were skinny or when you felt like you looked your best, and put it on your refrigerator, put it in your bedroom, put it in your bathroom, put it in your car, put it everywhere. Put it on the background of your phone. See, Mike, our mind, our subconscious mind really does impact our results. In fact, our mind, everything that we're doing in our life right now is a byproduct of our mind. Everything that we're producing in our life is because of our mind. The Bible says, whatever a man thinks, so is he. So you've got to be able to think and visualize yourself healthy again. Visualize yourself, with that flat stomach, or visualize yourself fitting into clothes. Even like get mental images of it. I have a vision board here. I'm really big into vision board. So even create a vision board of like fruits. Buy decorations that's got like fruits on it, or, really, and put it in your kitchen. Put pictures of healthiness. Get as many healthy images as you can in your life, in your office, on a vision board. If you can't find decorations, look, you can go buy a big old board and you can cut out pictures of bananas and grapes and, watermelon, and, fruit is very colorful. It's just good to see that. Number 2, the second thing I would say, Mike, is really do focus on living in the now and thinking. See, a lot of times when people think about losing 80 pounds, it's overwhelming. When people think about, oh, I'm never going to be able to have pizza or cheeseburger again, I'm never going to be able to drink a Coke, and they start thinking about all the things they got to give up to be healthy, most people can't mentally deal with the loss of it. Literally, there's like grief to this. It's almost like losing a loved one for some people. I'm not even kidding. The thought of someone giving up Diet Coke, there's like a grieving process. So what happens is when you don't live in the now and in the present moment, and all you're doing is allowing your mind to think about what you can't have, which leads me to my third point, is you've got to think about all that really keeping a list of the positive of what you get in exchange. Yeah, I might give up Coke, but look what I get in return. I might give up, red meat, but look what I get in return, right? So when you keep your mind on the positive, the benefits of why I'm giving this up, even write a list, why I'm giving up red meat, why I'm not eating, dairy. Like if I walked into most people's lives right now and said, look, you know what? No more dairy for you. They would like almost have a heart attack because it would feel so overwhelming. You mean I can never have cheese or butter or milk or yogurt or ice cream or whatever? And we don't actually, our style of teaching and our health and weight loss coaching is moderation. We do stray people away from breads, most breads, unhealthy carbs. We do stray people away from red meat, from dairy. So yeah, most of the stuff that people are eating, we actually encourage them to only do that in moderation, like maybe once a week. and we teach people how to eat clean, how to eat organic, how to eat a lot of, greens and, the healthy meats, turkey, salmon, chicken, whatever. Fourth thing I would say, Mike, is the most powerful way to change and to develop a mind to be able to overcome weight loss is a constant focus on the why. One of the number one things we tell people to do in My Health 90 is we tell them to give us all the reasons why they want to lose weight. I do this with someone that's trying to quit smoking. I said, we're going to come up right now with every reason why you want to stop smoking. And man, there were like 10 very powerful reasons. And I said, I literally, and I typed it out for her and I gave it to her and I said, I literally want you to read this list out loud at least 5 to 10 times a day. I want you to do it in the morning. I want you to do it at lunch. I want you to do it on your breaks. I want you to read it out loud. I want you to read it out loud while you're doing your hair. And I want you to read it with conviction. I want you to read it with passion. Same thing with weight loss, Mike. I went through yesterday and you had sent me a list of all of our members' whys. I was like, wow, like the reason why do I want to lose weight? Why? Like the why, Mike, is stronger than the craving for sugar. Especially if you're constantly reminded of the why. Like I tell people, like print this out, put it on your refrigerator. Like remind yourself, this is why I don't eat red meat. Or this is why I exercise every day. This is why I'm not going to be obese. This is why, like when you think of why, the why is the motivator, Mike. The why is what keeps you going after the motivation is gone. You ready? When was the motivation for everybody? January 1st. Where is it now? What has it been, like 6 months almost? We're almost 6 months from the new year. Right. Why? Because most of those people didn't have a why. They felt like crap because of all the junk they ate over the holidays. It's a new year, so in their subconscious mind, it's all about change. This is my year. But see, what problem is in April, they weren't thinking of the why. And now here we are in May and June, and most people are about done. It's summertime, and people are going to lose it, right? But in actuality, if all those people every day would have driven, like brainwashed the why into their mind, then they literally would have been able to stay on their path of health. I really believe that. Last but not least, Mike, is the fifth thing I would say is you've got to constantly learn how to replace your thoughts. I do a teaching called replacement thought therapy. And I teach people that literally you have the power to choose what you think about. And where people lose it is the moment the craving comes. Like, it's hot out. I've had a long day at work. I'm just going to go get some ice cream, right? And what happens is the thought comes and then we let it linger and we start telling a story. And then in that story, we start telling our mind there's justification. We justify, like, you know what, I deserve this. I've been working hard. I'm stressed. I'm tired. I'll do better tomorrow. And it's all these little stories that we play in our mind. It's all these justifications. And in actuality, if you can learn how to replace that thought and that story quick and tell yourself another story and learn how to, be aware that, you know what? This I deserve it thinking is wrong thinking. And so when you become aware of your habits, like we teach people, Mike, this goes deep. We teach people in My Health 90, look, we're going to help you break justification, excuse making. Those two things weaken the mind. When you start making excuses and you start justifying and you're like, you know what, it's just a little bit of butter. I'm just going to do a little bit. No. Mike, that is going to weaken the mind. I wish I had like an hour to teach on this. I know we're way over time. But why don't you help sum it up, Mike, and share some things that you think is going to help people from all that I just shared, my friend?
Well, there's so much there, and I would really just encourage everyone to listen to that at least a few times. And the why is so critically important that it helps. It's a process of reprogramming our mind, reprogramming our mind to think the right way, to think the right thoughts, to think about food the right way. And I also want to, just real quickly, because there was so much amazing comments over here in the chat box from our live people. There's too much to even cover. And so anybody that's watching later on YouTube or listening on iPod, on iTunes, if you get a chance, you need to join this broadcast live just to see all the interaction, because there's so much chat and banter going on back and forth that adds so much to this. Thank you to everyone that's here live. And you need to join us live at least a few times to see all of this stuff.
That way you can ask questions, you can interact, and you're right, Mike. The stuff over here is amazing. Lance, that is one of the number one things that I trained my son not to do. Say I'm starved. I literally, I'm strict in the small areas. If he says I'm starved, I would stop him right there and say, don't ever say that again. You are not starved. You're developing a weak mind when you say that kind of stuff. Just say, hey, I'm feeling hungry. And Mike, if we would stop, literally, if we would all stop, even in your families, and start becoming aware of how you're saying things, and don't be afraid, give everybody permission to practice on each other and how to better say it. Like, there's a better way to say it. Like, because our words, Mike, our words are so powerful. Our words and our thoughts, your words in your mind, my friends, slow down and become aware of how you're saying things. And you're right, Mike, there's so much good stuff. Yeah, Marie said, thanks for the 11-minute show. We went old school today and went 30 minutes. But anyways, there's so much to cover. And at the end of the day, my friends, I want to say one last thing, Mike, and let you kind of, do the recap. Guys, remember that My Health 90 was created, straight up, 100% created to help give you daily coaching, daily motivation, daily inspiration, accountability, and support to help you get healthier, lose weight by living the right habits. You get daily coaching on this kind of stuff we taught about to help you get more knowledge about health, learn what's healthy and what's not healthy, and start living a healthy lifestyle. Because remember, we're not just about weight loss. We're really not, Mike. I would venture to say 80% at least of the majority of weight loss process and systems are actually not healthy. And I think one of the number one things that separates My Health 90 from any other weight loss, besides the personal touch of 2 trainers and coaches, is the fact that we are 100% focused on health. Hear me? 100%. So, Mike, give us kind of a recap of today's show, and then we'll let everybody go, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Sure thing. First of all, don't assume that something's healthy if it says gluten-free, fat-free, or any of the other buzzwords. Dive a little bit deeper under the surface and make sure. The other thing is that health and weight loss starts right here in the mind. And you have to take control of your thoughts, take control of your mind, reprogram your thoughts so that you can make healthy decisions. Your subconscious drives you more than you can imagine. So find a way to think healthy thoughts, to think about things the right way, and speak healthy words and speak healthy affirmations in your life. And that'll definitely get you down the road. It's more than just a physical thing. It's a mental, it's an emotional thing as well. You know, we're body, soul, and spirit, and all those things come together.
Would you like to share the text that I just sent you, my friend, during the recap?
Hang on, I just got it. No, I don't think I would.
Hey, we love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30. Mike and I will be talking about life coaching and relationships and you name it. And come live with us, my friends, and we appreciate you. Y'all enjoy your day. And go get healthy.
We'll see y'all tomorrow. God bless.
Stop speaking.